Stop being a bitch.
All right, what's up, Lemonheads? Before we get started, I just want to let you all know that this segment is brought to you by Intelligym, an internationally endorsed athletic cognitive brain training simulation that improves players' decision making, game time awareness, and opponent anticipation. Intelligym simulates actual gameplay in a digital arena to help players better adapt to the shifting realities of real time sports. So make sure you use Lemon City 15, that's the number 1515, to receive a 15% discount on all packages when you sign up. All right,
Nice.
so we're joined here by the co-founder of Intelligym Labs, the company behind Intelligym Training Technology. His name is Danny Dankner. What's up, Danny? How's it going? How are you?
Very good, very good. Hi, Gustavo. Hi, Edwin. Nice to be with you here.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Full disclosure, Danny is actually doing us. Let's make sure we give Danny his proper due here. He's on whole nother time zone on the other side of the earth right here, and he's taking time out of his day to hang out with us and talk to us about Intelligym, because he's obviously, so passionate about what he does, and just like us with what we do, we love to sit down and talk to other passionate people who really believe in what they're doing. So by all means, Danny, we're real grateful to have you here and share some time here and let the people know about the great product that you guys have.
Thank you, guys, and thanks for having me again. So, well, you started by saying what Intelligym is. Intelligym is basically a training system to improve the capabilities of people to think faster, make better decisions on the field. But in fact, where it started is actually with training fighter pilots in the Air Force.
Nice.
This is where the originally started. So it has an interesting story.
So how did you make that connection, between athletes and fighter pilots?
So, in the Air Force, they put a lot of resources and research in training pilots to make the right decisions. And real-time decisions are life and death, decisions. So there was a research back then, which was highly confidential at the time. They developed a training system that was while I was in the Air Force Academy. And I came across this training system, and I was stunned by the results. The pilots went through this training program, had 30% better scores on their flights in the cockpit after going through this training program compared to the control group, which was unbelievable at the time. And then I thought, I approached the research team and I asked them, hey guys, could this training approach could be used for other domains, of decision making? And they said, well, what do you have in mind? And I said, sports, obviously.
Yeah.
And they said, absolutely. And then we looked into the details and about, sports decision making, and what they realized that in fact there are many similarities between sports decision making and pilots decision making. If you think about your spatial awareness, the changing environment that constantly changes, that you need to see the opportunities and threats, you need to see the passing lanes, the threat lanes, and so on and so forth. You need to make plans and then execute really fast. So this is pretty similar. So we decided to do the same thing for athletes. That's how it started.
So that's incredible.
Wait, are you former military yourself too?
Absolutely, yeah. That's where I grew up.
Yes. Okay, all right. So nice. That makes two of us. You were probably more badass than I was, but that's real cool, man. Thank you.
How did you get involved in tech?
So, well, in Israel, we have a lot of people who are actually taking military technology and taking them into the commercial civil world. So this is pretty common here. And after the research and this body of knowledge became unclassified, then we decided we must do something with it because the results are unbelievable. And the vision we immediately saw is that because of the unmet need of training players with decision-making skills and read and react kind of skills, we believe that this is going to be a standard training tool for every competitive athlete. So we thought, we have a technology here that could be a game changer in developing players. So that's when we decided that this must be something we'll develop.
Oh, that's awesome. What sports are you guys mostly focused on right now, or what's further along as in your platform
development?
Yeah.
So now the big game for us is obviously soccer, which is as you know, guys, by far the largest sports in the world, and also, by the way, in the States, there are according to the numbers of FIFA, there are more than 24 million players in the United States alone.
Oh yeah, it's the number one youth sport too. So you definitely know that the parents are looking to train their kids and anything to help them get an edge. Absolutely.
So the case study for us was with a smaller sport, but very interesting. It was with ice hockey, which is a very fast-paced sport. So we've done work with USA Hockey, which is the governing body of ice hockey in the US. And the first users were actually the NTDP, the National Team Development Program, which is the under 17 and under 18 national team. So they used the program. And not only the results were remarkable in terms of the percentages of improvement, but also another impact, which was kind of a unanticipated side effect, that the number of injuries went down for those players who used Intelligym. So that was an interesting result as well. And then we moved on to soccer, which is very, very interesting and highly popular sport.
So wait, so you've used this in your military life. Have you yourself used this in the athletic side for yourself to see if you still got it, if it helps you improve in any sports that you want to play? Because I'm 40. I want to still play till I'm as old as possible. So, is there an age limit here to who can use this, or can anybody benefit?
So that's a great question. So the first straightforward answer is everybody can use it. There is no age limit.
Awesome.
We do recommend players to start using Intelligym from the age of 10. Okay, not beforehand, because you do need to have some soccer fundamentals in place in order to get the benefit out of the training. Okay, you could be a genius, but if you cannot pass or run or dribble, there is no point in making the right decisions. Okay, and also there is an interesting windows of opportunity of cognitive brain development. So when you look at the cognitive development of players, I would say that the vast majority of players, they develop usually around the age of 12, 13. That's the first kind of leap, and then 17, 18. So in fact, most of our users are actually anywhere between I would say 11, 12, and 20. That's the vast majority of our users. Okay, you can still train afterwards. We have players who are in their 70s that are using Intelligym.
Nice.
But again, you see the large impact usually on between 12 and 20.
I mean, I figured that anything that helps keep any age group sharp and alert, which I feel like this is where you could really benefit. I mean, that's a plus there. So that's really cool, man.
And it's this program. It's like it's pretty much like a video game, correct? Is that a correct comparison?
Yes, absolutely. So in order to make it fun and engaging, we designed it in a way to be like a video game. And you sit in front of a computer and you quote unquote play with the Intelligym, and all you need to do is just to do it twice a week for half an hour. So it's not like hours and hours, and it has to be paced like similar to physical training. You want to gain some muscle mass. You don't go and lift weights from morning to sundown, right?
Exactly.
There is a program. The same thing goes for your brain. So half an hour of training twice a week, that's the recommended training regimen. And this, makes a big difference in your game. After like 8 or 10 training sessions, you go back to the field and you see what's happening around you in a totally different manner. So that makes a big difference in the way you can actually absorb, comprehend, and plan what's happening on the field.
Nice. And that's cool for kids nowadays, because kids are more prone to be inside playing video games than to go outside. So if this is I feel like this will come natural to children.
Absolutely, and that was the reason why we, it was designed for that age. By the way, not only in terms of engagement, but also in terms of affordability. We want every player, every young player, to be able to do it. So, and you're absolutely right. But it is important to bear in mind that after all, this is not a video game. This is a training system. So when you do the training, the one and only reason to use Intelligym is to make you a better player on the field. Okay, so if you remember that, and if you're serious enough about your game and your progress and development, this is when you want to use the program.
So explain to me a little bit, or explain to us how the simulation works. Like, what type of, does it put you in scenarios? Is it actually like you're playing a game in the game? Is the point of it to win? How does it work?
So in terms of the user, what he experiences and what he feels, it's basically a kind of a space game. Okay, so you have two fleets of spaceships that are battling each other, and you need to track and defend your team, and to attack to attack the bunker, so-called, of the other team. And it's basically a battle game.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, it's a very sophisticated, there are many algorithms in the background that tracks your progress, your learning curves, and there is a long list of brain skills that are needed in order to be an effective player. So if you need to have anticipation skills and spatial awareness and pattern recognition and planning and execution and so on and so forth, so the system constantly measures how you're doing and preparing a plan which is tailor-made to your particular needs. Okay, but for you, it's just a game. So what you do is to play and enjoy, and just go through the training program.
Well, I got a question then. So if it's that's interesting. So it's more like an actual game. It's not like you're in a soccer arena or something like that. You're actually it creates a level of fun too. Is that the same for, like, if I wanted to get better at another sport? Would it be kind of the same scenario type thing, no matter the sport that I'm trying to do? So is it like specific to each sport, has its own, creative element to it?
So there are certain elements that would be in common for different sports, but then it was optimized for this system. The soccer Intelligym was optimized for soccer.
Okay.
For example, the hockey Intelligym is a different training system which was optimized for hockey. And if you think about, if you do the analysis from a brain perspective, you see that there are major differences there. Okay, the pace, the size, the number of objects, so to speak, the number of players around you. Think, for example, consider that in hockey, you are controlling the object of the game, which is the puck, through a stick, which requires your attention resources to be dedicated to how to control and not lose the puck. While in soccer, you're actually controlling the ball with your foot. So it's a different, a resource allocation kind of a challenge. Okay, so it was designed for soccer. I can tell you that the U.S. national rugby team is using Intelligym as well, although it was not optimized for rugby, but they are they're seeing the benefit as well, and they're using the program. So so other sports field can use Intelligym, but it's not 100% optimized for that particular sport.
Man, maybe one day we'll see U.S. rugby win that sevens tournament that they're always crashing out in.
Well, yeah.
Oh man. Hey, well, that's really cool. I like that you guys are, seeing growth in various areas here. Now, tell people, where can they go to find this? If they want, what do they need to set something up, or is there like any type of system requirements or anything like that?
Okay, so in terms of system requirements, this is actually very, very easy. All you need is just a standard computer. Would that be, like a Mac or a PC, and just a keyboard and a mouse? That's it. No special accessories, no special, equipment. So nothing is needed there. And all you need to do is basically to go to our website, which is intelligym.com, and then you just go on, subscribe for the program. You download the program to your computer, and off you go. Start training right away. So it's pretty easy and straightforward.
So you don't need much to start.
Nice.
You have a dedicated place to go to. You download your information and you get going all within a matter of minutes there. Awesome. Very, very, very cool. Making it nice and easy.
Yeah. When you start the training, it would ask you, in the onboarding, it would ask you a few questions about your age, your gender, your experience in soccer, how many years are you playing, and so on and so forth. And then you just go on and train. And the system tracks your progress all along the training. Okay, so if, for example, on training session number 5, you're not very concentrated because you didn't have a proper night's sleep or anything of that nature, the training program will adapt accordingly. So all the time it keeps tracking your progress and results.
Okay.
Nice. I think I'm gonna have to get this for myself, man, because I was telling Danny earlier that I just moved to Orlando. Orlando has a big Brazilian population, and the other day I went to play soccer for the first time in like 4 years, and when I get there, it's just all Brazilians, and Brazilians they eat, sleep, breathe soccer, and I was honestly I was a little intimidated when I started playing again. I was fine, but I don't want to get joga bonito out there, next time I go play. So yeah, I think I might have to get this for myself. Now, yeah. Danny, you did mention. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead. No, I was just saying that it's very interesting to see the differences in training. We train young players or youth players in Germany, the Netherlands, Austria, and also, by the way, in Brazil and China. And you see that the differences in soccer cultures and in the different ages when they start training and how they do that actually impacts their decision-making skills. So it's very interesting to see the differences.
That's awesome. So it really does, I guess it lets you make the decision. It doesn't guide you in a certain way, right? It lets you, do whatever you feel is best, and it builds upon that. Is that how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very, very important distinction. Intelligym is not teaching you soccer. It actually trains your brain to be a more effective soccer player. That's a big difference. And this is why this is not a soccer simulation, because it turns out that a soccer, visual simulation could actually damage your performance on the field, because your visual experience in front of the computer is different than what happens on the field. Yeah. So what we are doing here is using a cognitive training approach, which is a cognitive simulation, and this translates to a much more effective training on the field. And the fact that the Intelligym doesn't look like a soccer, this is on purpose to make it a more effective training program.
Nice. So what if you're working like with your coach, and your coach wants you to use Intelligym to improve your decision making? How can your coach guide you through Intelligym?
So that's a great question, and this is actually, we see Intelligym as a complementary training tool. Okay, so you'll do your training on the field, you do your technical stuff and fundamental stuff on the field, and you do your matches and so on. And Intelligym is one more component to make you better. And in fact, we have many teams that are using Intelligym, and in that scenario, the coach has an access to the administrator, to the coach's console. So you can see the training, you can see the progress of the player, you can see how they're doing, you can see when they're training, and you can see their progression. So it's absolutely complementary to how the coaches are doing. In many cases, the players are doing it individually. So I'm doing it on my own without my team. So I can see my progress. My parents, if they're interested, can see the progress. But if in a team setting, it's also working very nicely.
Yeah, nice. You answered my next question there, which was, I was wondering if you had like a way for like a coach to go on there and track the progress of his players, because youth soccer, like we said at the beginning, this is such a big community out here in the United States where everybody's trying to get an edge. If a coach can tell the parents, hey, if your kids do this, I can guarantee you some improvement on their game by a certain measurable, and you can show them deliverables like, hey, look, you can see that his numbers and actual something tangible that they can see, and then they see it on the pitch, and they see the changes there. That's a great tool, and that's a great selling point there as well. So yeah, that's definitely
that's an interesting point, because when we train players, usually the coach would see the difference before anybody else.
Yeah,
because they know their players. And we talked to the coach. We are standing with the coach on the sidelines, and he said, hey, take a look at Johnny there. You see what he just did? You said the way he looked around and and moved his head. He never did that before. He was all concentrated on the ball. Now he can look around him while he plays, and they see the difference first. And on the side of the players, what they usually tell us is that after starting using Intelligym, when they play soccer, the game is suddenly seem like as if it is in slow motion.
Oh yeah,
which obviously happened because your brain is faster, so you have more time to think and comprehend and absorb the information and anticipate things.
Yeah, this
So
is
that's
such a
really
great
cool.
tool for, especially
Yeah.
for the youth crowd. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for the kids, this is a way to give the parents a little peace of mind that they're not wasting their time, you know, playing the
Yeah.
wrong stuff. Like, oh no, well, he's doing this because he's gonna get better, and I'm gonna see some results. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
definitely a plus there. And Danny, thank you for creating that and giving these parents something to look forward to there. By the way, as you can see on the bottom, Intelligym.com, use code LemonCity15 at sign up for 15% off. Gus, you have any?
Final question. Final
There we go.
question. You did mention that this started off with fighter jet training. You know, we're big Formula One fans here. Is
There we
there
go.
is there a plan to implement a Formula One training or any sort of racing?
Oh man, we have requests by athletes of all,
Yeah.
many different sports fields. Can you do this for wrestling? Can you do that for, for tennis? It takes time and a lot of resources to develop. So
Yeah.
it's definitely on our drawing board, but it will take time. So now we're concentrating on soccer.
Mhm.
Later on, we want to develop the platform, approach more geographies, and develop Intelligym for other sports fields. So that's definitely on our drawing board.
Nice, nice. Well, Danny, thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to learn more about Intelligym and help you guys, bring it here to South Florida, and hopefully, yeah, it'll become something big over here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for the time.
Yeah. And everybody who's watching and listening, we'll have a link up in the comments as well, so you guys can go in there directly. If not, like you see on the scroll at the bottom, Intelligym.com. Use the code LemonCity15. Get yourself an extra 15% off. Again, thank you to Danny. He's taking the time out from many time zones away to hang out with us, talk to us, and we love your passion. Thank you for sharing it with us, and we look forward to a nice little partnership here and many great things moving forward, Danny. So stick with us here. Everybody else watching, thank you so much for everything. And we'll see you back on our next broadcast Tuesday.